So growing up with mom and dad, she's a Methodist and my dad isn't. You would think that with growing up with a Christian and a Muslim in the same home would be like living through the Crusades, and you'd be right. They never talked about either one of their religions to any of their children. They just expected we would get it through osmosis or something. I remember distinctively, we were flying back and forth from Chattanooga to Iran several summers, and my dad decides this would be a good time to pray. So he takes out his prayer rug that has a compass on it, so he knows which way to pray, and he puts it right there where we entered the plane. But they were turning the plane. And he was like really, really mad. He's like, stop moving the plane. Tell me where I wanted to go. And I'm like, Dad, you have the wrong accent to tell anybody to do anything on a plane. Just chill out, Dad. He taught me how to drive. Horrible decision for that to happen. And he got upset at me because I honked my horn for no reason. I went, burp. He goes, you can't do this. This is against the law. Listen, fathers are a lot like middle management. They just make stuff up. So here's my father. Don't honk the horn, he's against the law. Like my dad knows the law in the States. Every time you do it, if the cop sees you, he's charged you $50. And so I did it again. What is that, 100? Stop it. 250? I told you to stop it. It's like $1,000, Dad. Who's gonna pay that? Your name is on the registration. That's another thing, man. His name is Mohammed, my name is Mahmoud, and people will call me like, Muhammad? Like, no, you just gave up. Especially like solicitors or something like that. I need to speak to Muhammad. Like, well, that's my father and he's passed away, so I guess you're out of luck. Oh, shouldn't Moody Molavi? Can you imagine what's going through their mind? They're looking, man, I don't know what kind of name is that, but it seems like a terrorist, so just say the first one that I know. Muhammad. So yes, Muhammad. I remember he was sitting in the passenger seat, and he's a large fellow like myself, if you didn't notice, but so he would sit side saddle in the seat. So he's like this. And we're at a stop sign, and I want to see past him. Like, hey, Dad, move around. I got to see past you. He goes, you're fine, go ahead. I have to watch everything you do. I'm training you how to be a driver. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but my eyes got to see. Why would I lie to you? I'm the first person going to get hit. I cannot fight that logic. That's pretty good. He was a surgeon, and he took me to his OR, where the ORs in Iran, or at least in Tehran at his hospital, very interesting, because it was a circle, and you got to see all the other surgeries depending on where you're sitting at the end of like his OR. I'm sitting in this stool, I'm 11 years old, and I'm watching him work on some ankle. So working on this dude's ankle is a motorcycle wreck, and it's just flopping around, And that's already disgusting for me. But across the station, there's someone there having some sort of brain surgery, and they have a saw going, wow, like taking the skull cap off. I'm 11. And I see this, and I see that, and my dad goes, Mahmoud, look at this. And he has disconnected everything off the ankle, and he spins it. He goes, helicopter, helicopter, helicopter. I woke up in the nurse's station with smelling salts. You're no son of mine.